Let's start this documentary from El Mencho's last day alive. February 22nd, 2026. A quiet mountain town called Tapalpa, Jalisco, Mexico. The kind of place where roosters crow before sunrise and farmers have never locked their doors. But on this morning, something is different. Black helicopters appear from nowhere. Mexican Army soldiers, National Guard, Special Forces, hundreds of them, surround a house at the edge of town. Intelligence officers in Langley, Virginia, are watching the same scene on live satellite feeds. Inside that house is a man the United States government has been hunting for over a decade. A man with a $15 million price tag on his head. A man so dangerous the U.S. added him to a list of international terrorists. A list usually saved for people like Osama bin Laden. His name is Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes. The world knows him as El Mencho. And today his luck runs out. Subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this story. To understand El Mencho, you have to go back to a tiny village called Colotlán, deep in the mountains of Michoacán, Mexico. The year is 1966. There is no electricity, no paved roads, no schools past primary level. Families grow avocados to survive. This is where Nemesio is born, seventh child in a poor farming family. He drops out of school young. There's nothing to do and nowhere to go. The mountains are beautiful, but they offer nothing. Here is the first mystery of his life. At some point, young Nemesio changes his own first name, from Ruben to Nemesio, in honor of his godfather. It is a small thing, but it shows you something about him early. He was always deciding who he wanted to be. By his early 20s, he is gone, illegally crossing the U.S. border into California, chasing something better. But better doesn't come easy. California in the 1980s. He finds his way into the drug world. Not as a boss, as a small player, moving heroin. Risky, low-level work. He gets caught. Deported back to Mexico. He goes back to the U.S., caught again. Deported again. Third time. In 1994, a federal court in Northern California convicts him of conspiracy to distribute heroin. He serves nearly 3 years in a U.S. prison. Then they send him home. Most people, after all that, would stop. Nemesio doesn't stop. He returns to Mexico with something most criminals never get. Time behind bars to think, to plan, to study how power really works. And now he is going to climb. Back in Mexico, he starts at the bottom again. But this time he is learning from the most powerful men in the country. He becomes an enforcer, a hitman protecting a man named Armando Valencia Canelio, a regional cartel boss. He does the dirty work, he survives, then he gets closer to the top. He becomes a trusted lieutenant of Nacho Coronel, one of the most powerful figures inside the Sinaloa cartel, which was at that time the biggest drug trafficking organization on earth. Nacho Coronel runs Jalisco, the state that contains Guadalajara, Mexico's second biggest city. He controls drug routes, bribery networks, and an army of gunmen. And Nemesio is right beside him, managing money, managing men, managing violence. He is absorbing everything. Then, in 2010, Mexican military forces kill Nacho Coronel in a raid. The empire has no king. And Nemesio, now in his mid-40s, makes his move. In 2009 and 2010, there is a brutal group terrorizing Mexico called Los Zetas, former Special Forces soldiers turned cartel. They cut off heads. They hang bodies from bridges. They leave messages in blood. Nemesio makes a clever, calculated decision. He forms a group and calls them Los Mata Zetas, the Zeta Killers. He positions himself as the man cleaning Mexico of its worst monsters. It is brilliant marketing inside the criminal world. From that group, the CJNG is born. Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generation. Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Within just a few years, CJNG grows into something no one expected. Not a regional gang. A global operation, present in all 50 U.S. states, and more than 40 countries around the world, including Australia, China, and all across Southeast Asia. The DA estimates that by 2019, this one cartel is responsible for at least 1/3 of all drugs entering the United States. fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, all of it, flooding across borders. This is not a movie. This is real life. Drop a comment below. Did you know a single cartel could be this powerful? Let's talk about it. For years, El Mencho operates in total shadow. No confirmed photos, no confirmed location. Just a name and a trail of bodies. And then, in May 2015, the CJNG does something that shocks the entire Mexican government. They shoot down a military helicopter. Not with luck, with a rocket launcher. 8 soldiers die. The message is clear. We are not afraid of your army. In June 2020, CJNG gunman ambush Omar Garcia Harfuck, the police chief of Mexico City, in the middle of a major highway in broad daylight. The attack involves dozens of gunmen, armored vehicles, and military-grade weapons. He is shot 3 times. Miraculously, he survives. But the message was never really about killing him. The message was, we can reach anyone, anywhere, anytime. The world is now paying full attention. Here is one of the strangest parts of this story. El Mencho's wife, Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia, is not just a cartel wife. She comes from the Los Quinis, her own family's criminal organization, which handles the finances and logistics for CJNG. The marriage was not just personal. It was a business merger. His son, known as El Menchito, was arrested and eventually extradited to the United States in 2020. He is now serving a prison sentence there. His brother Antonio, nicknamed El Tony Montana, was arrested in Guadalajara and extradited to the U.S. in early 2025. Another brother, Abraham, arrested in Jalisco in 2024. His wife, Rosalinda, arrested in Mexico in 2021 on money laundering charges. Released in February 2025, one by one, his family is taken. But El Mencho himself? For over 10 years, gone, hidden. A ghost? The U.S. offers $15 million for information leading to his capture. Mexico offers the equivalent of tens of millions of pesos. Thousands of tips come in. None lead anywhere. Until February 2026. We are back where we started. Tapalpa. February 22nd, 2026. The helicopters. The soldiers. The satellite feeds. The operation involves multiple branches of the Mexican military working together with U.S. intelligence, the kind of cooperation that took years to build. Gunfire breaks out. El Mencho is hit. 3 of his men are killed at the scene. He is alive barely when they pull him out. Medical teams work on him. They put him on a helicopter headed for Mexico City. He never makes it. Nemesio Ruben Osiguera Cervantes, the boy from the mountains of Michoacan, the convicted drug dealer twice deported from the U.S., the man who built the most dangerous cartel on the planet, dies from his wounds en route. He is 59 years old. Within hours of the news spreading, Mexico explodes. CJNG launches coordinated attacks across nearly 20 states. Gas stations are set on fire, banks are burned, roadblocks appear on major highways. In 6 separate attacks, 25 National Guard members are killed. Guadalajara, a city of 5 million people, becomes a ghost town. Flights are canceled. The U.S. Embassy issues a shelter-in-place order. Over 1,000 people are trapped at the local zoo, unable to leave safely. The cartel had already planned for this moment. They were sending a message to whoever comes next. We are still here. But with El Mencho's son in a U.S. prison and his closest family members arrested or dead, there is no clear heir, no obvious next leader. The most powerful criminal organization in the Western Hemisphere is now a ship without a captain. What happens next, no one knows. El Mencho started with nothing, a dirt road village, a family of avocado farmers. No education past primary school, 2 arrests and 2 deportations from the United States by the time he was 28. And yet he built something that reached every corner of the globe. Something that outlasted every attempt to stop it. Something that even after his death still burns entire cities in grief and fury. The story of El Mencho is not a story of victory. It is a story of what happens when poverty, power, and ruthlessness collide, and what it costs a nation when no one stops it in time. He is gone, but the cartel he built is not. If this story hit different, subscribe and leave a comment. What surprised you most about El Mencho's rise and fall? Your comment might be featured in our next video